This made the old Mrs. Wilson annoyed enough. She couldn't wait to really interrupt Elaine's legs on the spot, so that she would dare to be so arrogant again. However, in front of Charlie, Mrs. Wilson didn't dare at all. She still remembers the scene where Charlie hit a group of bodyguards alone, which made her still feel lingering. Harold used to be very arrogant, but now that Charlie was there, he didn't dare to bullshit for a long time. Seeing that his grandma was insulted by Elaine, he didn't dare to step forward and help find a place, so he could only hide behind with a sad face. At this time, Noah had a dark face and came back with the boss. As soon as he came back, he said to Mrs. Wilson, "Mom, let's go. They bid too low." The boss hurriedly said, "Brother, 1.1 million is really a lot. Your set of furniture is of average materials, and it has been old and the damage is relatively large. My price is already very fair. You can change it to another place. Absolutely can't get a higher price than this." Old Mrs. Wilson was so angry that she heard that the quotation was only 100 and 100,000, and she immediately scolded, "For such a good piece of furniture, only 1 in 100,000? Your heart is too dark, right?" The boss said helplessly, "I'm giving a sincere price. If you don't believe it, just ask about it again." Mrs. Wilson coldly snorted and said to her family, "Come. Change another house. I still don't believe it." Jacob hurriedly said at this time, "Mom, or I will give you 1.2 million, you can sell it to me. To be honest, I have feelings for Dad's furniture. You want to be beautiful." Old Mrs. Wilson gritted her teeth and said, "Even if I chopped and burned the wood, I will never sell it to you." After speaking, she waved to Noah, "Come." Noah gave Jacob a dry look, and hurriedly accompanied the Lady Wilson to turn around and leave. Looking at their backs, Jacob couldn't help but shook his head again and sighed, "I didn't expect that the Wilson family would be reduced to a property seller. That set of furniture was Father's favorite during his lifetime. It's a shame to sell it." Claire knew that her father had a lot of affection for that furniture, but she still came forward to comfort him. "Okay, Dad, Grandma has a temper. It's impossible for her to sell that furniture to you. Let's take a look at the others." "Yeah." Jacob sighed, and immediately said to the shopping guide, "Let me take a look again. Your Hainanese materials are too expensive, and for Myanmar materials waiting is too long." The shopping guide nodded and said, "If you need it, come back." Turning around, Mrs. Wilson's family has disappeared. Jacob went to several shops selling classical, but it seemed that he didn't see the one he liked. Elaine was anxious, so she proposed to buy other furniture such as the bedroom, dining room, etc. Otherwise, it is very likely that they would go shopping for nothing today. Jacob also felt that it was not a problem to look at it this way, so the family moved to the living hall. Elaine chose a set of tens of thousands of beds for herself, and Claire also chose a set of more than 10,000. Furniture such as wardrobes, dining tables, and storage cabinets were quickly available in the living hall. They even bought all the household appliances they needed and other miscellaneous things for a total of more than 700,000. Elaine has been quietly settling accounts for Jacob. Knowing that he still has more than 1.2 million left, she has an idea in her heart. If Jacob really uses the money to buy a set of classical sofas, it will really be any money. There is not much left, but if they just buy a good European-style sofa, at least 1 million will be left. So she kept mumbling next to Jacob and said, "Jacob, if you can't find a suitable classical sofa, it's better to buy a set of European style first. And when you have money, let's just buy a set of 3 million. Isn't the Hainan red pear better?" Jacob knew what her idea was, so he said lightly, "You don't have to worry about what kind of sofa I buy. Anyway, the furniture for the bedroom, dining room, and recreation room are all available, enough for you." Elaine was very depressed, and blurted out, "Why don't you listen to persuasion? You buy a ready-made sofa and it will be delivered to your home in the afternoon. Tomorrow our family can move to a new house happily. But, if you continue to consume it, this little money can't buy Hainanese materials, and you can't look down on Burmese materials. How long will it be spent?" Jacob suddenly hesitated. More than 1.2 million, buying classical is indeed high or low. If he continues to hesitate, it will definitely delay the normal use after moving. If, according to Elaine, buy a set of European-style sofa now, it can be delivered in the afternoon, and they can move in tomorrow. When Jacob was hesitant, Charlie suddenly said, "Dad, I think Mrs. Wilson will definitely contact you after a while." Jacob asked subconsciously, "Why?" Charlie smiled and said, "Because of the money. That set of furniture must be sold for less than $1.1 million. It is estimated that you will have the highest price after a round, so it must be sold to you." Elaine said contemptuously, "What are you talking nonsense? Didn't you listen to the old lady just now? Even she will chop and burn wood, but won't sell it to us. So what?" Charlie said calmly, "They are now at the poorest time. Dad is willing to pay an extra $100,000. This $100,000 is a large sum for them. The Lady Wilson is so smart. People who are smart will definitely not throw away this $100,000 for nothing." Elaine curled her lips and said, "Just can you? Do you think you can see a feng shui fool, so you can see through everything? Based on my understanding of the Lady Wilson, if she can swallow this breath, take this, sell the furniture to us, and I will eat that set of furniture raw."